Well, hello there, monkeys. Welcome to another episode of Lake George Amusement Park here at Coaster Monkey Studios, where we've got yet another episode of building our main entrance here. So a lot's been going on with this main entrance. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode. We had a lot of detailing happen, and we're going to continue on with that detailing here as we jump into our security area and do this main central section of our plaza. So super excited for that. But before we get into that, let's say hello to all of our new subscribers. Thanks so much, guys, for subscribing. For those of you that have joined, I really hope you're enjoying the content here at Coaster Monkey Studios. And if you are not new, you're seeing this for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. It definitely does help out the channel, first and foremost. But secondly, you get to see more content of me creating stuff here at Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. And obviously my vlogs for going to theme parks and whatnot. You can also find me at Discord, Twitter, and Reddit at Coaster Monkey Studios. So definitely just look those up there at the top. And let's get into it. So what are we doing here today? Well, we are building our security area using a extreme amount of TMTK in this area. Yes, TMTK. TMTK is our best friend right now in this game, especially when it comes to realism. We've got our security set up here with the metal detectors and the gates. We're also going to have, nice little details set up. So we're going to have that happen through here or through down through here. But yeah, so super exciting to build this out. Now this has a couple of iterations. What I was trying to do was decide how we were gonna have this set up. And you'll see I move things around a couple of times. But great trick. Do one and then copy and paste and then make alterations, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're creating one security area and then we're going to copy, paste, and edit. All right, and that's kind of the trick here. Obviously, Scrooge McDuck. For those of you who don't know who Scrooge McDuck is the uncle of Huey, Dewey, and Louie from Disney. And Scrooge McDuck said a phrase once on his show that I will never, ever, ever forget. Ready? Work smarter, not harder. So that's what we're doing. We're working smarter, not harder here. We're doing, half the work with twice the payout, essentially. And that's the intention of what we're going for here. So you'll see there's a lot of copy and paste, a lot of moving around, maneuvering different things around our space here. But again, building one scene and then copying and pasting that scene and editing and altering that scene slightly to create variation and give it some life, right? Because it's one thing to have a static scene. It's another thing to have a static scene that intrigues you. You see something different every time you look at it. And that's the intention. That's what we're going after with this particular portion of the build. And there goes that bin trick I showed you guys last week. Super easy, usable bin, right? It covers right over. It looks real as all heck. And that's what we enjoy. We enjoy that realism. That's what we're going after here. Now, Canopy Lake doesn't have this much stuff going on in their security area. So I definitely embellished a bit on it, but that's okay. That's okay, right? We're giving it a little bit more of a thicker sense of realism. Now, all these TMTK pieces, again, I don't have everyone. Unfortunately, I don't have everyone's name. And if you are in this particular portion, or your items are being used in this particular portion, I want to say thank you so much. I know I used some Hydro pieces. I know I used some KPR, Kart Play Ride pieces. But other than those two individuals, I'm not sure everyone else's stuff. And I apologize again, guys, but thank you so much for being such amazing creators and doing what you've done in Blender and being able to bring that into the Team Maker's toolkit for us to use. It really does elevate the overall quality of our builds. Oh, that's my phone. Sorry about that. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. You have just been killing it. With the amount of stuff that we can use. There's so much on the workshop that's TMTK. I mean, you guys need to really dig in. For those of you that have never looked through the TMTK items on the workshop, I mean, the builders are just fantastic. The stuff that they've created, it's mesmerizing, the quality of stuff. Now, there is some stuff that may not be the best quality, so you gotta be careful of that. Some of the stuff isn't optimized, and it will slow down your game, so just be mindful of that. But as time goes on and you use more TK, you know which items to go with and which items not to. Again, only because of the quality factor. So here we are, building our little stand for our entryway. Now, yes, this looks huge. I know it looks huge. It won't look huge in a minute, and that's the whole intention. Excuse me. I woke up with this weird cough. It came out of nowhere, which is odd because I shouldn't be sick. I just got over being sick not that long ago, maybe about a month ago. But yeah, so I digress. So we're making a little stand here for our guests to get their tickets scanned using hydro beams. Surprise, surprise. Because we wanted a mixture of a plastic feel with that wood texture. And that was the intention we went for there in this particular piece. And again, a very simple look. Like we weren't trying to recreate the wheel. You know, this is based off of, what I've seen personally in theme parks. It's just a simple little stand. Something I really thought was interesting. A place like Hershey Park. Hershey Park has these, they almost look like they roll out. It's so interesting. These little computers. I mean, these days they're using, handheld scanners and cell phones. So they're really not using these types of setups anymore. But yeah, we did it here. We've got this nice little register, which helped elevate the look of realism. Obviously, the register isn't a thing that would exist. It would probably be a computer. But again, that's obviously probably not a thing they're even using anymore. So, interesting. So, wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on the channel. We've got a lot of new series happening. I hope you guys are enjoying those. If you haven't had a chance to, I'll definitely, put some links up above for that. The first series I want to talk about is going to be our Blueprint series. So have you guys seen the Blueprint series yet? We've only had one episode up so far as of this recording. Actually, tomorrow, for me tomorrow, not you, but for me tomorrow, the second episode will launch. You guys get to see that. So we'll get a link up atop for that playlist there for our Blueprint series. And the other series we got, which has been blowing my mind, it's kind of where my excitement has been as of late for the channel, has been my Planet Zoo series. So yeah, I know this is Coaster Monkey Studios. I get it, right? But Planet Zoo is made by the same people who make Planet Coaster Frontier, right? For those of you that don't know. And Planet Zoo is the similar mechanics. But it's a completely different managerial style than it is managing a theme park. You've also got, oh my god, like the animals are gorgeous, and just the logistics of building habitats and how to build habitats and what you need to build to create a successful zoo. Like, I know how to create a successful theme park. That's easy. You know what I mean? Like, that's really easy for me. But creating a successful zoo, I have no clue. So that's, excuse me. So that's what I'm doing right now in the park. I'm learning how to create a successful zoo. So I'm playing through the career mode, and learning the logistics and getting all the training from Nancy. Nancy, who reminds me of the mother from Harry Potter. Yeah, that was my really bad English accent. I promise I won't do it again. No, I won't promise that. Especially if you watch me play the series. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get that link up there as well for the Planet Zoo series. Definitely something you guys will enjoy. Trust me. It's definitely fun trying to figure the game out. It's just so weird. So different than Planet Coaster. But yeah, back to the video here. What are we doing? Well, we did that copy and paste thing, right? We copy and pasted all the way across with our security setup, which looks pretty good. We've done minor alterations from each one, as you saw, to give a feeling of life, right? It's a little different. Not everyone is exactly the same. There are things moved around. There are slight variations and changes. Yes, the characters are static. Yes, the characters are the same, but we do our best with what we have to work with in the game to create that variety and life, if you will, to the particular area. But big fan of these letters. I've got to, I'm going to put a link down below. Whoever made those letters, I'm not exactly sure who it was. Maybe it was Idra, maybe it wasn't, I'm not sure. I'm going to find out who did those letters, and I'm going to let you guys know. Down below, it'll be in a link, because those letters, I use them everywhere. They're perfect size. Excuse me. They're perfect size, and they work out really well. And it's funny, as I'm watching this playback, you see, I put in the what's that called? The metal detector in the wheelchair area, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And then I took it out. So I'm glad I took it out, because I would have went back and deleted it as soon as I'm done recording this voiceover. But see how we're creating all of this variety, right? Different genders, different races, different hair colors, same clothes, because we've got one uniform here at Lake George, and that is this seafoam green and banana yellow, because bananas, monkeys, Curious George, right? Speaking of monkeys, Monkeylandia. Have you guys checked out my Monkeylandia series? That is the original Planet Coaster series here at Coaster Monkey Studios. You should check that as well. I'll throw a link up top for that. But Monkeylandia, that was fun. I was rewatching some of those old videos, and they were crude as all hell. I was still learning. how to do YouTube. I was learning how to play the game. I had no clue. But yeah. Excuse me, this coffee. Let me take a sip. Hold on one moment. Oh my goodness. All right. So, as you said, we taught our doors over there. Shout out to Nerd Chacho. Aaron, if you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, Nerd Chacho, he's amazing. He has the Reel Up Your Ride series, the Reel Up Your Park series. The dude is a master at ultra realism. Like, I'm doing realism. He does ultra realism, which is like the next step. It's just most mind-blowing. You need to check out his series. He told me about those doors, and I used the wrong doors. You're going to see, I go back and I've switched them as of now. But the doors are too short. And I don't realize I do. I had my palette off to the side, my building palette. Just like you do with nature. And we'll talk about nature in a later episode, because you do a lot of nature overall palette-wise. We're doing nature now, but you'll see. Anyway, so I have a building palette, and I grabbed the wrong door, and I sized everything to the wrong size, and I had to resize it this morning, which was fun, let me tell you. But it was a quick fix. But yeah, so what am I doing now? I'm building a central planner. So this is interesting. If you've never built I guess you could say a plant. What's the word I'm looking for? If you've ever built an arrangement, there we are, a floral arrangement. It's a very simple process, right? You have a central item, and then you work down from there. You cascade down. That's kind of the idea, and that's what I did here. But because we wanted this to be nature-esque, nature-ish, excuse me, we made it seem a little bit more rough, right? Because granted, Canopy Lake, IRL, they're not a Disney, right? And Lake George is not a Disney. So it's going to have its cascading effect, but it's going to be a little rougher on the edges. So that's what we went for. We went for more rough when it comes to the pieces we decided to put in here, and more green than color. Why do we do more green than color? Well, because this is supposed to be an evergreen or a perennial floral arrangement, right? And that's the whole ideology around it. Right? Look at how great that looks. Right? It just cascades down. And this is how you would do a floral arrangement IRL. On a small tabletop floral arrangement. Same idea. Oh my goodness. My favorite part of this whole plaza is coming up, and you're going to see shortly as we get this trim work in. Now, you've seen all this before. I've done all this before. This is nothing new. I feel like we're like in repetition stages, right? Like every episode's the same because this building is huge. But trust me, once this building is done, there's a lot of variation that happens in the series. So don't think like, oh my god, this is so boring. Trust me, it's boring for me too, rewatching it. Excuse me. Ooh, I gotta be mindful of my camera too. Wow, that was crazy. Sorry about that. You know when you're building, you're just like in the zone? That's where I was. I was in the zone. I didn't get it. Anyway, so for this side here, we're going to create a little guest services window. So this is the in-park guest services. We also have an exterior guest services area where guests can come in on the outside of the fence, and they can just go straight to guest services or counter inside. We've also got a season pass processing area that we've created, and you'll see that in a later episode. But here we're doing an interior guest services window. It's very simple. This is another item I've got to put down bottom for you guys. It's great. It's fantastic. It's the size of an information booth, and you can literally use it for anything, you know? So we'll get that down bottom for you as well, as far as the link for that. That's such an amazing piece. But yeah, so we create this little guest services area, and again, using all of the same pieces that we've used before, because right, we've got one palette for this building that we've created, so we're utilizing that same palette across the board to create the continuity all the way around. And yeah, it's a huge building. I mean, in actuality, from in-game quote-unquote buildings, there's like 10 or 12 or maybe even 14 buildings in this one structure because of all the different angles and all the different heights. Maybe even more than that. I'm gonna have to check that. I think it might be more than that. Excuse me. Oh, this cough is just too much. All right, so what am I thinking now? I'm thinking we're going to let this ride for a little bit until we finish up the detailing on this side and we get to my favorite part. I will come back and we will continue our chat. Catch you in a few minutes. All right, so I know I said a few minutes, but we're up to my favorite part. So this is my favorite part. Look at how great this path cover is. There's another piece I'll put down bottom for you guys to click a link for. But remember how we talked earlier about path covering and how the paths, they're going to be there, but we're going to cover it over with different textures, different TMTK items, or non-TMTK items in some cases. And that's what we're doing here. We're utilizing this brick pattern, which IRL exists. In real life, this is a real thing. In Canopy Lake, they have this herringbone brick pattern that they've overlaid with concrete trim. So I wanted to mimic that because I liked the color variation. I liked the variation in textures of the pathwork. And as I look back now, I think I might have changed some stuff since then. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I want to have a ring around that fountain, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, so just so you guys get an idea, this is literally my favorite part. I'm very excited about this. Now we are putting down concrete pads underneath these structures. Why do we do that? Because IRL, these would exist, right? You would have these buildings built on concrete pads, not on loose brick on sand or mortar, right? And the reason for that is to keep it secure. So we did that IRL, and that's where we got the basis or the pattern for the concrete strips that we're going to overlay in between all of this brick. And it's just super simple overlay. Just sink it on down, just a drop. And where you get that, 2 or 3 pixel difference between the brick and the concrete. And then here we are starting to create our pattern. I love this pattern. I love the way it came out. Excuse me. This cough, I'm sorry. But I did a lot of fiddling with this. And I think that's the final. Yeah, that's the final. And kind of deciding exactly how I wanted to do it. And I tell you, it just elevates the overall area and plaza, right? It gives it that, je ne sais quoi. How do you say, life, right? It elevates it. And we do that now all throughout the interior plaza, and we come out and we have this carry through. Look at that. And how easy is that? It's so quick and so easy, but it creates such variation in your path cover where it's like, oh, okay, that makes me want to look more. Like, what else am I not seeing? Right? It creates so much variety and depth to your plaza. Now, most plazas, all plazas, I think, deserve path covering or some type of pattern. Giant open spaces, to me, just they look boring and just plain concrete. I still feel that way to this day around the main entrance on the outside, which you'll see in, I believe, the next episode or the episode after we go out into the main plaza before the ticket booths. And you'll see kind of what that looks like. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how this looks with the path covering. And I love the brick, the variation between the brick and the green of that central topiary. Topiary? Would it be a topiary? Central floral arrangement? Well, whatever it is. It's a floral arrangement, right? It almost looks like it was once a fountain and the plumbing broke and they decided to fill it with greenery. Like, I feel like that's a thing. If that's not a thing, it should be a thing, because that's what I feel like it is. Excuse me. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep these. I took these lines away. I think I'm going to keep the lines, bring the lines back, have them come all the way out to that point, and then do a curve. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a curve from there. Out on the opposite side of the floral arrangement, I think. Yeah. It'll just be cleaner. And give like a nice solidifying end to the plaza. Like, this is where it ends, and then we'll have pathwork on the opposite side. Mulch. That is some good mulch, guys. We'll get that for you as well down bottom. So don't you worry about that. That'll be another link. More mulch. And we went with this like brownish green color. Why? I don't know. Very odd. And I feel like we're probably end up throwing a sign up over there, because we've still got to come back and finish up this area, right? Because we're going to start building out, at least now IRL, we're building out from this plaza pretty soon. So, with that being said, I think we're going to wind up sprucing this area outside guest services a little bit more, with maybe like an entryway sign, like enter here sign type deal. I don't know. We'll figure it out. but a lot is to come. There's so much to come. I mean, I'm looking back at this video was filmed 3 months ago, right? So I'm looking back on it and going, okay, oh my God, there's so much more that's about to happen. You guys have no idea. It's so exciting. All right, and then to wrap up our area, we're going to throw in some lighting here. Very simple lighting, nothing too crazy. Obviously, remember, guys, we need to desaturate our lights, so that's what we do here. This is the original color of the light. How bad is that? Got to desaturate that, give it a little bit of a softer tone. And our plaza is almost done. Look at how great that looks, right? A little bit of copy and paste action. We'll get more of the lighting out here. And boom. Thank you so much, guys, for joining this week. Super stoked to have you guys again. And we will catch you next time here at Coaster Monkey Studios. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit me up on Reddit, Twitter, or Discord. Coaster Monkey Studios. Thanks so much, guys. Catch you later.